think it was a comedy, but that's what I thought. It wins a war too, so who knows what's going to happen tonight. All I know for sure is in 90 minutes I go to a party. That sounds good to me. It's a job, you know. I've said it before. And I repeat it. One of the greatest movie stars that ever lived was Rin Tin Tin. That was a mother dog. His own son accused him of destroying his career. His daughter witnessed him threaten to beat a producer's face in. His wife almost left him after years of affairs with Hollywood's biggest stars. Now, Robert Mitchum's family is finally telling the dark secrets they've kept hidden for decades, from the shocking truth about his jail time to the mysterious foundation no one knew existed. This is the story that will make you see the tough guy legend in a whole new light. Robert Mitchum's life didn't begin like a Hollywood story. It began with heartbreak. He was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in 1917 into a working-class family. His father worked in shipyards and on railroads to make ends meet. But in 1919, when Mitchum was not even 2 years old, his father died in a brutal accident at a rail yard. His mother, now a widow with 3 children, had no choice but to move back to Connecticut and start over. She remarried a former naval officer who helped raise the kids while she worked at a newspaper, but from a young age, Robert showed signs that he wouldn't follow a normal path. He was wild, always fighting, always testing limits. His mother eventually sent him and his brother to live on a farm in Delaware, thinking it would calm him down. It didn't. He got expelled from school and ran away at just 11. By 13, he was living with his sister in New York's Hell's Kitchen. That didn't last either. Another expulsion, another fight. And just like that, Robert Mitchum hit the road for good. He became a full-time drifter during the Great Depression. He hopped freight trains, slept under bridges, and worked odd jobs, whatever he could find. He dug ditches, boxed in back alleys, worked farms. Life was rough. He was hungry. He was injured so badly once that he almost lost a leg. But this wasn't just aimless wandering. These years shaped him. They hardened him. They made him real. And during his recovery from one injury, he met Dorothy Spence, the girl who would eventually become his wife. Mitchum's most controversial tale from this time came from Georgia. At just 14, he claimed he was arrested for vagrancy and sent to a chain gang. He said the labor was brutal and the guards were worse, and he claimed he escaped. Whether the whole story was true or not, he stuck to it his entire life. That story gave his tough guy image real weight, because maybe, just maybe, it actually happened. He didn't dream of being an actor, not even close. But in 1937, his sister Julie was acting in a little theater group in Long Beach, California. One night, an actor didn't show up. They needed someone fast. Julie pointed to her brother. Robert stepped in. That's how it all started, by accident. One role led to another. Soon, he was acting regularly, even writing plays for kids. He got noticed. His mother pushed him to keep going. In 1939, he even wrote music for a benefit show produced by Orson Welles. Without trying, the drifter was becoming an artist. By 1943, Mitchum was all over the screen, usually getting punched off a horse in B-westerns. He appeared in 7 Hopalong Cassidy films that year alone, always playing the bad guy. He also showed up in war movies, comedies, and anything else they would give him. He worked like a machine, 19 movies in 1 year. That grind taught him how to act without acting, how to be present without trying too hard. That became his signature. In 1944, he signed a contract with RKO Pictures. They paid him $350 a week, chump change for someone who'd soon be a star. But they saw the spark. His first lead role came in Nevada, followed by West of the Pecos. Both movies were small westerns, but Mitchum stood out. His quiet strength, his rugged charm. It all felt different from the typical Hollywood hero. RKO had locked him in on the cheap, and they knew it. Then came The Story of G.I. Joe. Mitchum played a war-weary officer with depth and soul. The movie didn't glorify war. It showed the exhaustion, the fear, the loyalty. His performance was so real it earned him an Oscar nomination. General Eisenhower even called it the best war movie ever made. And just like that, Robert Mitchum went from cowboy henchman to serious actor. But just as the movie hit theaters, Mitchum was drafted into the Army. Life was imitating art. He didn't see combat. He worked as a medic and spent most of his time joking with other soldiers. 8 months later, he was discharged. He came back to find that the story of G.I. Joe had turned him into a movie star. Now the studios wanted him everywhere. He had the face of a fighter, the voice of a skeptic, and the walk of a man who'd seen too much. He didn't need to pretend to be tough. He was tough. Hollywood tried to polish him up, but Mitchum never let them. In 1947, when he played Jeff Bailey in Out of the Past, it didn't just make him famous, it changed film noir forever. He wasn't the loud, dramatic kind of actor. Instead, he spoke softly, moved slowly, and made you believe he'd seen too much of life already. He played a former private eye trying to escape his past, but trouble found him anyway. Critics called him smooth, confident, and dangerous all at once. The way he lit cigarette after cigarette, never seeming to care, became part of the character's charm. Roger Ebert later said Mitchum's tired eyes and slow voice made him the perfect noir hero, someone who seemed calm on the outside but could explode at any moment. That cool, quiet style influenced a generation of actors who all wanted to be just like him. At the same time, Mitchum's career was blowing up. After Pursued and Crossfire did well in 1947, he became one of RKO's top stars. The studio knew. They had to pay him more, and they did, doubling his salary from $1,500 to $3,000 a week. Just 3 years earlier, he'd been making $350 a week. Now he was earning almost 10 times that. The contract was a big deal, not just with RKO, but also with David O. Selznick, who had bought part of Mitchum's contract earlier. This new deal put Mitchum in a powerful position, right before trouble hit. Robert Mitchum never saw it coming. He was one of Hollywood's hottest stars in 1948, making $3,000 a week and riding high on success. But one night in late August, everything changed. Mitchum walked into a house in Laurel Canyon just looking to relax. What he didn't know was that the house had been under secret police surveillance for 8 months. Officers were waiting in the shadows. The place was bugged. The location had been chosen because it was hidden, far from neighbors and surrounded by trees. It wasn't a coincidence. The police had planned this for months, and Mitchum had unknowingly walked straight into the trap. This wasn't just a random drug bust. It was part of a bigger plan to crack down on Hollywood. The police had been watching other celebrities too, but most of them got warnings. Mitchum didn't. When the officers stormed in, he didn't fight it. He admitted it. On the spot. "I've been smoking marijuana for years," he said. "I knew I'd get caught sooner or later. I'm ruined." He was honest. Too honest. And in front of the press, he didn't hide. "Yes, boys, I was smoking when they came in," he told reporters. That kind of honesty was rare, but it also made the story explode. Headlines around the world carried the news. Robert Mitchum, the movie star, caught with dope. Things got worse fast. At the jail, a reporter asked him what his job was. Mitchum quietly said, "Former actor." He thought it was over. He was stripped, shackled, and examined by a psychiatrist. That same day, he had to cancel a speech for National Youth Day. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. His arrest was already huge news, but what followed turned it into something unforgettable. On February 16, 1949, Mitchum began serving a 43-day sentence at a prison farm in Castaic. It sounded like a country retreat, but it wasn't. He woke up at 5:00 a.m., worked all day making concrete blocks, and barely got time to rest. Life? Magazine photographers came in to capture him in a prison uniform, mopping floors and milking cows. These images were printed everywhere. For a man who had just been nominated for an Oscar, this was a nightmare. But Mitchum didn't lose his wit. He joked that jail was like Palm Springs, but without the riffraff, and claimed the other inmates voted him Mr. Cement Block of 1949. Still, the truth was rougher. The humiliation wasn't just local. His films were even banned from being shown at the White House. But then came the twist no one expected. Just 17 days after his arrest, RKO Studios released Rachel and the Stranger. Instead of failing, it became the studio's biggest hit that year. People didn't turn away from Mitchum. They flocked to see him. In fact, his next film, Blood On. The Moon also became a success. His tough, cool image, now mixed with real-life scandal, made him even more appealing. Robert Mitchum didn't just break into Hollywood, he broke all the rules.